Welcome to the Fans Ed Sports Show. But thank God I'm not a Florida fan. Just out here looking trash.
People call me crazy for saying they had 6 losable games on their schedule.
That's where I picked y'all preseason.
So I don't know how, but somehow they got some excitement around their program right now.
Welcome to the Fans Ed Sports Show. How is everybody doing, man? Make sure that you put a comment right in there. Make sure you do all that good stuff, man. We're going to have my guy Terry is going to drop in later on, bro. But right now you got me. And I just want to go ahead and start talking about, like, right now you got the AP poll coming out. And I just want y'all to know, this is the last week that this AP poll means anything, right? Next week, you have, what is that? Yeah, it's going to be November 5th on Tuesday. The college football playoff committees are going to release their first ranking. So their first top 12. Everybody want to know who's in that 12. Where's everybody going to be seated? How's this bracket going to start looking out and shaping up, man? And right now, you still got Oregon sitting at number 1, Georgia at number 2, Penn State at number 3, and you see Miami has creeped up to the top 5, man, sitting there right behind Ohio State, and you still got the Longhorns in the top 10. Tennessee is in there still. Even though I think that's crazy, man, that they're in the top 10 after losing to an unranked team. I think that's crazy, but it is what it is. Then you got what is that? Notre Dame, BYU still in there undefeated. I think that BYU has been underestimated. Some people were talking about them, and then you got Texas A&M. Sneaky good with that new quarterback came in, man. He was just electrified that offense, electrified that stadium, man, and they just took over. So Texas A&M, they showing, hey, we are not that team that lost earlier in the season. We are a different team, man. I just want to talk about that staff and what they're doing. And, Mike Elko after the game was sitting there talking about, like, we are a real staff. We're not a BS staff. We're not a politician staff or whatever. I like what he did. And here's the thing. He didn't mind having to go to the other guy. Did not make any excuses about, a guy being down or anything like that, man. All they did was put up or shut up, right? And that's what I gotta respect from them, man. I cannot take anything from them. Shout out my guy Mike Green with the 2. My guy, what it do? Or die week. Yeah, it's do or die week. You right. It's definitely do or die week. It's time for put up or shut up. And like Mike Elko, he was in a top 15 matchup, right, with LSU. And he didn't make any complaints about the quarterback situation, about who his guy was or anything. He still found a way to get it done. And that's what Ohio State has to do. And we are going to talk about that as well. Now, another thing I want to talk about is that team up north and Michigan State, right? They get in the brawl right after their game, after Alex Orji takes the knee. And I think that it is so funny because, when it was Michigan State starting the brawl or doing whatever, what was that, about 2 years ago, they had all the footage. They was ready to send everybody to jail and penalize all of these people, right? Now, even though we, as fans, saw it in 4K on the TV, saw the footage, saw the film, they're saying that that they couldn't see things clearly, none of that. I mean, we saw people getting stumped out. It is what it is, man. I think that it's kind of showing favoritism by the Big Ten, but hey, when you're a big dog, you get to do what you do, man. So Michigan State, yeah, they definitely little bro jaw for sure. Go ahead, make sure y'all hit that like button, man. Join the discussion. Leave a comment right there for us as well, man. A lot of people, I want to talk about this guy because a lot of people talk crap about this man. They had dirt on his name, man. Just straight disrespectful to Dion. Straight disrespectful to Prime, man. And I tried to tell people, I said, hey, if they win 2 games last year, it's talking about last year with him coming in, right? They win 2 games last year, that's an improvement, and he did more than that. Now you're looking, making them bowl eligible. They are 6-2. I mean, you to me, you can't ask any more from Coach Prime and what he has done with the Colorado program. Everybody counted them out. People said that they weren't going to even be bowl eligible again. Everybody wanted to dog Shedeur Sanders, looking like the number 1 quarterback, arguably, because I don't see anyone who can sit here and say, hey, they're the for sure number 1 quarterback in the draft. Right now, it looks like Shedeur has that completely locked up, man. And, if some things also shake up, if you go back to our other episode, as we talked about the race for the college football playoffs, depending on how things shake up, man, Colorado could be sitting there with a chance to get in the playoffs, man. But they got to go ahead and win out. So, really looking forward to seeing what Coach Prime has, man. And a lot of y'all definitely owe that man an apology. Like I said, go ahead, get the hate out your heart, man. Get the hate out your heart. And again, man, make sure you hit that like button and you subscribe to the channel. All right, man. We got to get to it. This is what y'all are here for, man. This is what y'all came here for. Big game this week. And it's what y'all here for. We talking Ohio State versus Penn State. Number 4 versus number 3. Let me know who y'all got in the comments. Let me know who y'all got. Do you got Ohio State? Do you got the Buckeyes? Or do you have Penn State? Let me know right now. And right now, I'm just going to go ahead and send this little tweet out real quick. While everybody put their stuff in the comments. Yeah. Let's see. Oh, man, my guy Mike Green going in on Prime said, I don't mess with dude, not a fan. And we got Jacob Evans saying Penn State is beating that ass. Your O-line is sorry. Get ready to learn Abdul Carter. Hey, and that is one of my biggest concerns going into that. And right there, we might as well just go ahead and get into it. Areas of concerns for Ohio State is obviously the offensive line. The biggest thing that I said this season that couldn't happen was Josh Simmons going down, and he went down, bro. And as you saw, Ohio State was, as they say, experimenting, letting guys go through, the issues, just baptism by fire. And Zim Mahosky did not handle that too well, man. So, I do want to see what Ohio State is going to do with the offensive line. I do believe that you got to use the running backs. You got to use the tight ends to chip. Jacob does bring up a good point. Like, I'm not going to say that the O-line is sorry, but I think that you have some coaches, you have a play caller who should have something in his bag to be able to help these guys out. This is what you're paying the $1 million guys for. So, it is what it is. And then when you talk about the concerns for Penn State, right? Penn State, Drew Allen. he goes down, man. But I have a sneaky suspicion that he's probably going to play in this game. Maybe he just tweak something. And then also, when you had your backup just catching lightning fire, I mean, you saw it again. Not only Texas A&M, but Penn State as well. Penn State was down. They go with the backup, say, hey, and they don't make no excuses. They get it done. And I would say, you know, our guys, I watched Ron, Terry, and Q, and they were talking about it. Snap. My bad on that. And they were basically talking about it. They were saying that, hey, I don't believe in the backup quarterback and all of that, right? But here's my thing: is when you see your DN in the biggest game, your experienced guy, JT Tuimoloau, right? He's not expecting the quarterback run from a Dylan Gabriel. What he does, pulls it, boom, takes off, right? Again, I mean, that's just something that you have to worry about. We go and we see Dylan Gabriel. Where was he able to run? Right up the damn gut, because Ohio State wasn't disciplined in the run game. So that's definitely something that I would say area concerns for Ohio State is the offensive line. How is this coaching staff going to go ahead and get the left tackle, whoever it is, some help? And then obviously, are they going to show gap integrity? Because I literally believe what they were doing in the Nebraska game was bringing a little bit of that 2022 defense back. So I definitely see them trying to put Penn State under fire. You just can't see guys being rushing in the same lanes, things like that. You just can't see that. So, I mean, if you want to go to keys to victory, how can Ohio State win this? I don't believe that Ohio State is going to be able to win this game by doing the dink and dunk offense. It's just not going to work. You cannot do that in this game. You're going to have some explosives. You're going to have to try Penn State out on the secondary. You're just going to have to. You're going to have to trust that Will Howard can make that deep ball. We've seen a little bit of it to JJ, seen a little bit of it to Carnell Tate. Is it going to happen continuously, right? That's what we need to be able to see that happen constant, right? You was able to do it a couple times in the Nebraska game. Can you do it in the biggest game? And also, Will Howard, why are you out here giving bulletin board material talking about, oh, I wasn't good enough to play there, wasn't good enough for this? Come on, man. You know, you're a Buckeye now. Enjoy being a Buckeye. I don't think that should be your concern is, you know, not getting a chance to play for Penn State. Come on. I mean, obviously it's your home school or whatever, but it is what it is. Shout out Mike Green for the 2. Our situation looks fishy AF almost on purpose. Yeah, I mean, it did. Like I mean, you heard Ryan Day say it clearly from his mouth, man. He said flat out, I believe that we just was going to throw the guys out to the fire. He just believed that we have enough talent and we're talented enough to where it's just going to happen. It's just going to happen. Now, either call that, hey, I'm ignorant, or just saying, hey, I knew we were going to do it because, look, when we needed to drive to go actually win the game, we went ahead, did that. Defense was able to get the stop. All of that stuff. If you want to say that they knew that they could do that, then they knew that they could do that. I would like them to go ahead and put teams out, man. I mean, obviously, you know that you're getting into the season where guys need depth, and I don't think that this is the time to be playing around, experimenting, doing all of that. So I do find it a concern. Another thing that everybody is talking about is Larry Johnson. Larry Johnson, man. Is it Larry Johnson? Go ahead, tell me in the chat. Do y'all believe Larry Johnson is the one holding this defense back, right? Because for one, we've been told for years, he was protected by Gene Smith. Well, he wasn't protected by Gene Smith this offseason. I'm going to keep saying that. I done said it in spaces. I done said it in the group chat. I done said it everywhere. He was not protected this offseason. Also, one thing that we have known from Larry Johnson since he has been at Ohio State is he rotates. He rotates. He rotates. He has been interviewed and talked about all his rotations, why he rotates, and things like that. Right? Now, all of a sudden, Larry Johnson doesn't rotate. I think that's kind of, like I've been saying from the beginning in the group chats, everybody wants to blame Larry Johnson. And here's my thing. Larry is going to be Larry. Whether you like it or not, Larry is going to be Larry. Everybody, if you want to blame Larry, it's too late. You can't blame Larry. This is on Ryan Day. I see people in the chat saying Larry Johnson is washed. All of this stuff. Here's the thing. No matter what you think, whether you're on the Larry Johnson side or you're not on the Larry Johnson side, it comes down to Ryan Day. Flat out. If there is issues between Jim Knowles and Larry Johnson, whose job is it to fix that communication? Ryan Day. Now, everybody wanted to come at me, call me crazy, and just wanted to get on this train about Larry Johnson. But my whole issue is Larry Johnson, and I've been saying this, Larry Johnson is not the issue, it's Ryan Day. Because if Larry Johnson was the issue all of these years, if Larry Johnson was the issue in 2022, if Larry Johnson was the issue in 2023, you could have got him off the staff, right? If you're saying that, you wanted this rotation and everything, right? You wanted all of this rotation, and then it didn't happen because of Larry Johnson. Isn't it on Ryan Day to say, hey, I'm taking your headset. Hey, I'm sending you up in the booth. Like, excuse me, I gotta get some water. Like, isn't it on him to do that? So, I mean, you can blame Larry Johnson all you want. Larry is going to be Larry. I just find that Larry was the one who has always had the thing about rotating, right? And I remember the beat going after Larry and saying he rotates too much. He rotates too much, right? I mean, I will say, in key moments, you didn't have the better guys in. That's a criticism, I could say. But then also, here's the thing. And if Ryan Day has been getting on coaches, because, it's been rumored that he was getting on to Tony Alford about who he was putting in and why he wasn't putting in. It's like when things aren't going right, Ryan Day's like, no, I want whoever the starter is, I want this guy in. And it's like, no, like let the process happen. Like let these guys get rest. So, I mean, we're not seeing what have we been saying for years? We want rotation here. We want rotation there. But we have not been seeing it. This is Ryan Day's team. We ain't been seeing rotation anywhere. We have not even seen Jermaine Matthews, right? We didn't see Jermaine Matthews until what? Somebody get hurt every time. It's unless somebody get hurt or he got to come in because of a target penalty. Why? Why is that? That should not be a thing. So, we got Terry in here, man. What's up, Terry? I've been going crazy, man.
Hey, what's up, Mike? What's up, man? Sorry to be late, brother.
Hey, man, it is what it is. But I just been telling these people, I guess I've been going on the topic of the Larry Johnson, Ryan Day, Jim Knowles triangle. And I'm just of the point, obviously you were in the group chat when everybody fired off on me when they were trying to be of the opinion of, it's Larry Johnson's fault. And I was saying, no, this is on Ryan Day.
Dude, listen, I just got in here. I'm with you on this, Mike. It's on Ryan Day. You're the head coach, brother. Ryan Day is not our OC. As much as he has an offensive background, people are just going to have to realize that he is not the OC. He is the head coach. Everything that happens on him, everything that happens is on him. Every decision that's made is on him. He's the head coach.
Facts. See? I mean, I don't get how people don't understand that. Like, these things should have been like that. That's why I keep saying, what was going on in the offseason? What were we doing in the offseason? Guys aren't ready to get in, on the offensive line, and they're just not ready, right? They're not ready. What were we doing in the offseason?
Hey, listen, the offensive line, that's a whole nother subject, man. That's a whole, have you talked about it already, about what the plan is and what happened today?
I know, you're a little bit late, but I want to ask you, what are your areas of concern for Ohio State? And then tell me your areas of concern for Penn State going into this game.
Okay. So for Ohio State, my areas of concern, I'm going to give you one on offense and one on defense. So on offense is play calling more than the offensive line. Mike, I went back and watched the Nebraska game and counted. There was one time in that Nebraska game where we ran a run play where our offensive lineman pulled. So everything else was just like straight up zone. I know there's like other variations of it, but I mean, it was very, very basic stuff. And they were just getting out leveraged by Nebraska because Nebraska's DC was honestly doing a good job of kind of countering what they were calling. I need to see the play calling get better. And I think the offensive line is going to gel. I truly do. I'm not too worried. Like there's going to be some issues, right? It's not going to be perfect. There isn't a team in college football right now that can lose their left tackle that was a first-round pick or, all-American level tackle and then can go and play against a team like Penn State or Oregon and not have some issues. It's just going to happen, bro. And we're going to have to deal with that as our coaching staff's going to have to deal with that and Will Howard's going to have to deal with that. But play calling on offense and then on defense, rotating the defensive line is honestly, to me, that's probably the biggest problem on this whole entire team. The rotation issue is an overall issue on the team in general, but the defensive line is very, very important because we have dudes out there that are beasts. You look at Tyleik Williams. Tyleik Williams is a beast, dude, like potential first-round pick type of player. But every single game he's putting bad things on film because he's in the game for the whole first 3 quarters. And if it's a close game, he's got to go out there and play the 4th quarter. And now he's exhausted. Teams run tempo. Like you have to be able to rotate those guys on the D line or, I mean, you're putting yourself in a bad spot, dude. You're putting exhausted players on the field. And when you're exhausted, it doesn't matter how good you are. So, and I'm going to let you go here about Penn State, or if you want to give me your Ohio State, because it's going to be just me talking for a long time. So I don't want that. But
we got a super chat in here. So let's get this super chat in and then we'll get over to the Penn State side. Shout out Mike Green for the 2. Why our team always having these type of conversations? And I mean, I guess we're having these conversations because they say, hey, don't listen to them guys on Twitter, man. They're just couch coaches, man. Coaches. I don't understand it. It is kind of funny how, even I see guys posting it in the group chats and stuff. Like we have talked about the issues before it has even happened. And it's like you got these guys getting paid millions of dollars or, 6 figures, and this is their life, their bread and butter, and they're not seeing it, or their assistants aren't seeing it, or maybe it's just the head guy not listening, because I just don't understand like how all of these guys are just not seeing these issues, right? So, I mean, again, it just comes down, you're having these same issues, always these same type of conversations, because you have the same type of guy right in charge. And I mean,
it's true.
I also believe that there has to be some complete stubbornness from Ryan Day, and he can't get out his own way. Like, I think the man really needs to go see a therapist or something he
Mike,
might
that's
have
crazy.
he might have like that Tom Herman effect, like Tom Herman just got in his own way. Like he was a phenomenal play caller, phenomenal coach, but he just looked like crap, like on the big stage, because he just couldn't get out his damn way.
He need to go talk to the therapist about how Jim Harbaugh and the refs hurt him.
Something, his ego, his pride, something,
That's
bro.
crazy.
Like people saying, like, they know that Ryan Day has that killer instinct in him. Where?
I mean, when he first started coaching at Ohio State, he did, dude. Like Ryan Day was known for like throwing the ball deep on fourth down and going for it on fourth down, shit like that. In his first couple years in his coaching or head coaching career, and then it was like once that loss to Michigan happened, that first one in 2021, it's kind of been downhill ever since then for Ryan Day, man.
So I'm gonna say this: was he able to be comfortable when Urban Meyer was in the building still, acting as the assistant AD, and he got less comfortable when Urban left? I mean, I'm trying to understand because, like, when did the killer instinct stop? Like, where was it? Yeah, you were, doing this, but my thing is this: you were scared to move on from Greg Strodrawa, knowing that he wasn't even able to be in the building and coached the offensive lineup like they should be coached up. You couldn't make that hard decision. Yeah, I understand the man was going through medical things and all of that stuff, but this is still like you can't just say, hey, you're not doing your job. It's okay for you to not do your job. Like, nah, bro, we need you.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? And I just also, it's like the Tony Alford thing. Like, instead of you just saying, hey, get the hell up out of here, bruh, you want to play the game, the contract game. Like, it's almost petty shit. Like, that don't, to me, embody Ohio State. It don't embody blue collar. Like, that's why you having like petty people keep doing the same shit over and over. Blue collar people figure out how to get that shit done because they ain't gonna do it with that shit again.
I agree, Mike. I agree, man.
I don't want to deal with this shit again. So what the hell am I gonna do? Make sure I don't do it again. My wife don't like this. What the hell you gonna make sure I don't do? I'm not gonna do that shit again.
Now I will say that Ryan Day has made changes though. He's made changes. It seems like since Ryan Day has been here, it's kind of been a cycle of overcorrecting over and over again. And it's like you overcorrect from the first mistake, and then you got to turn around and fix it by overcorrecting again. And it's kind of like we've been on like a seesaw going back and forth. And like a perfect example, Mike, me and you have talked about this on the show. 2022 defense was super aggressive. Obviously, they got burned a couple times, Georgia and Michigan. 2023, the defense literally never blitzed at all. And I just seen a stat today that in 2024, even counting the Nebraska game where we actually did blitz a decent amount, we blitzed more than 4 people 11 times this season. And this team, this team is what? Is it 5-1 or 6-1? We played 6 games or 7? I think 7. I think we're 6-1. Yeah. And they've blitzed 11 times more than 4 people. And people, you watched that Georgia game a couple weeks ago against Texas, and everybody was talking about how good Georgia's defensive line was, how they were getting after Texas. Dude, they were sending more than 4 people almost every single play. And even when the plays that they were not, Texas couldn't figure out which 4 guys were coming because of all the other times when they sent more than 4 that they were not able to block them. So that was kind of an aspect of our game that we just haven't even had so far this year. And that's why I'm a little bit optimistic about the team going forward, because I did see change in that. In the Nebraska game, I did see change in that. And I think that hopefully that's a sign that we'll start doing more of that stuff that we were doing in 2022. Basically the stuff that is Jim Knowles. The reason why we brought him here. Like, we didn't bring Jim Knowles here to run a good coverage. Like, we didn't bring him to you know, we brought him here because of all the other things he does with his defense that are going to ultimately put our players in good spots. So,
bro, go back and watch the press conference when he got here. It was because his defense allowed our players to just make plays. That's what it did. That's what it did. Mm-hmm. And like I said, we got burnt a couple times or whatever. And like you said, it was overcorrection. You know, our guy Cam on this platform has talked about it. Like, no scheme was not the issue. It was really like the Jimmys and Joes, right? Like you replace. Mm-hmm. Like, here's my thing. If you go back to the 2022 game, right? Replace Iggy with Cam Brown. Does that player go for that big long run?
No, dude. Cam Brown, no. Iggy's not missing that tackle.
In the Jim Knowles defense, right? You replace Cam Martinez with a Jordan Hancock. Does the Cornelius Johnson thing ever happen? No, it does not.
Not getting off on Jordan Hancock. That's not happening.
So here's my thing: is if we know this, how do they not know this? And my thing is it just won't happen, right? I mean, you can say like, oh, he fixes this, but it's like, is he really fixing it? Because he's micromanaging it.
I think I said he's made changes. Did I say he's fixed things? I don't know, man. Either way, it's been overcorrections. Just it's constant overcorrections. It seems like it never stops. Like, I got nothing, Mike. It's just Ryan Day has to get it right eventually. Like, you have overcorrected this way. You've overcorrected this way. You've hired a new DC. You've went out and got Chip Kelly, your mentor, as the offensive coordinator. You got all these players. Like, at some point, you got to get it right. And I think that has to happen this weekend. Like, this is like the last chance. Like, it has to get right now.
Bruh. Okay, so we got to talk about some concerns for Penn State. So we talked about Drew Aller earlier. Are there any other concerns that Penn State should have to worry about? I was thinking they secondary. Like, if Ohio State is able to hold up in pass pro, right? If they're able to hold up in pass pro, and I think that they can if you're using – that's what I would just use. Go ahead, have Benny Christian right there. Just be that extra guy, that safe guy right next to the left tackle, right? If you can hold up, do you really see the Penn State secondary being able to hold up against the Ohio State skill guys, especially watching the emergence of Carnell Tate? Because now these defenses have to say, do we stop Emeka? Do we stop JJ? And if we do, who's going to stop Carnell?
I think the Carnell Tate thing kind of felt a little forced. Like, they were like, all right, it's time for us to get this dude involved in the game. So I love that they did. I mean, because we always knew Carnell Tate was really good. But back to Penn State, I mean, I think you nailed it with their secondary. At least their corners. I know they got good safety, so I'm not going to come on here and try to disrespect Penn State's players. But I seen when I watching the Wisconsin game, and admittedly I haven't watched every single game of Penn State, but watching the Wisconsin game, Wisconsin receivers was able to get open on their corners, and that is concerning as a Penn State fan because Wisconsin's receivers were also dropping passes. They dropped like 5 passes. If you go back and watch that game, their quarterback actually played decent, was hitting them on the money, and they were dropping the ball, and that's not going to happen. Like, it's not going to happen with Ohio State. So the other thing to worry about for Penn State is they're not very good at tackling. I actually said earlier today that I think this could be a big-time game for Quinshon Judkins because if you're a team that struggles with tackling, you're really going to struggle with tackling when you're trying to tackle Quinshon. Like, you could be a bad tackling team and you can get Trey to the ground. You know what I'm saying? I don't mean to disrespect Trey because he's crazy.
Anybody know what you're saying? It's
me. You could be a good tackling team and get Trey to the ground, but not Quinshon. So hopefully they'll feed him the rock this week. And, I mean, let me see. As far as Penn State's offense goes, I'm not ready to say that Penn State's offensive line is going to be a problem for them. But the history of this game says that Penn State's offensive line is going to be a problem for them. And in the game against Wisconsin, they were struggling with Wisconsin's defensive line. So, I mean, again, I'm basing that off of Wisconsin. If you're an Ohio State fan and you're only going to base it off of Nebraska, and you look at those last two games, then obviously you're going to have some turmoil there, and you could say that Penn State will probably win that game. But that's just a couple of things I think could be concerns for them.
Man, hey, Terry letting y'all know, hey, I mean,
hey, my takes on the fans' edge been crazy, Mike. My takes on the fans' edge been hitting every week.
I don't know what you're talking about, man. I don't even be saying that, bro. That be your takes, man. Your takes be hitting.
Hey, maybe not my take about Oregon, though. All right, let me stop. I disrespected Dylan Gabriel, and he went up top on us.
Bruh, I told you they were saving something, man.
I didn't think he had that in him, dude. To be honest.
And you know what I was sitting here thinking, and they talked about Ohio State having this analytics department, right? This thing that they have kind of incorporated, and that was something that I felt like, okay, that Oregon could have probably used against Ohio State, the way they were, not using their offense to the fullest of capabilities in the beginning of the season and things like that. And I mean, boom. That's exactly what happened. Hey, you can predict this, predict that. Your analytics was wrong. So, yeah. I mean, that's just elite coaching right there to me. So shout out to them. Let's see what else we got over here. Oh, the keys to victory, let's say, for Penn State. What's their keys to victory for them to beat Ohio State?
So the keys to victory for them is going to be to get to Will Howard, because Ohio State's going to try to pass the ball. They're not just going to lean on the run game like they should, but they need to get to Will Howard and make Will Howard turn the ball over more than once. He's good to give you one a game, but he's usually pretty solid outside of that. If they can make him turn the ball over more than once, they can definitely get in a spot to win this game. And he's done that before. Like, you look back at like Oklahoma State last year when he was at Kansas State and he turned the ball over like 3 times. And I know at least 2 of them were like right 2 defenders. So, I mean, it can be done. You can confuse him and stuff like that. But I think that's one of their keys to victory. And then the other one for them is going to be to run the ball. Because a lot of times when Penn State's playing against Ohio State, they don't end up sticking to the run when it's working. I mean, look back to last year. Nick Singleton started getting off on Ohio State a little bit, and then they just kind of went away from it. And then protecting Drew Aller, because I do think Ohio State is going to get after Drew Aller this week. And honestly, he's very improved in maneuvering the pocket and kind of making things happen after moving around the pocket. So Ohio State could get in trouble there, but they still have to go after him. They got to create those negative plays because, that's honestly Ohio State's key to victory is to create negative plays. So.
Yeah, and I would say Penn State's keys to victory, man. Like I saw you this morning, you were saying like that quarterback or whatever, probably shouldn't have to worry about him. But I feel like those are the type of quarterbacks that give Ohio State fits, especially if Ohio State's not able to keep that gap integrity. That's the type of quarterback. You thought that Dylan Raiola was hurting us with his legs. That's the type of quarterback that can actually hurt you with his legs. So I know people say, hey, don't worry about it. But I think that that's something that has hurt this Ohio State team before, especially if you're just worried about, a Drew Aller and, like you said, getting after Drew Aller, if he's back there and he's not able to be mobile, I mean, they still can slide that guy in there, bro. And that team already has that confidence, that feeling in him as well. And I was listening to some guys earlier. They were talking about maybe the backup quarterback kind of just fits this offensive play caller a little bit better.
Are you talking about Bo Prabula versus Drew Aller?
Yeah. I'm just saying, like, maybe he fits what the offensive coordinator does a little bit better and helps with the run game opening up a bit.
And I honestly, I feel like he's the type of quarterback that's been successful at Penn State in the past. You know what I mean? Like, Drew Aller is not the type of quarterback that's been successful at Penn State in the past. He was more the type of quarterback you would see at like Ohio State, kind of go crazy. But I think that with the new OC they have over there, they are doing more things downfield, and it is suiting Drew Aller pretty well. I mean, don't get me wrong. Like, I don't really like their offense doesn't scare me or concern me more with Drew Aller out there than that Bo Prabula guy. Like, they both bring what they bring, and I think Drew Aller's a lot better than him, but I also know for a fact that he's better than Drew Aller at running the ball.
Mm-hmm.
And I've seen Ohio State get beat by doing, like those zone reads and stuff like that at like opportune times. I mean, Michigan did that to Ohio State the last 2 years with J.J. McCarthy. They ran the ball, and waited till the third quarter. Ohio State adjusted. They started having J.J. pull it, and he would make a big play and just completely change the momentum. So, I mean, it could definitely happen. And like I said, neither one of them concerns me too much to where I think they're going to like go crazy on our defense. But I think they concern me about the same if you compare the two skill sets.
Yeah, and Doug, I think he brings a great point. Franklin prefers running quarterback, so yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, if we start getting after Drew Aller, bro, he ain't got no problem putting that backup in, bro. I promise you that, man. So hopefully the Buckeyes are definitely ready on that. But any keys to victory for Ohio State, or you feel like you kind of already wrapped that up with the concern?
Yeah, I mean, just the keys to victory for Ohio State, dude, is just one, be creative in the run game. Don't just go out there and try to out-tough them. No team does that. Like the teams that run the ball the best in college football don't just try to out-tough the other team. Like Michigan the last couple of years, they got to say that they were the toughest because they were running the ball. Like, that's fine. They were doing a lot of creative stuff in the run game and getting the numbers advantage on their side. So that way you look tough. When it's 3 dudes versus 2, you look tough. That's cool. Like, you got the numbers advantage. And Ohio State needs to make sure they're doing that. I thought Chip Kelly was supposed to be the one to do that at Ohio State. I don't know why he hasn't been recently, but do that. Throw the ball to Jeremiah Smith. I mean, that's probably the biggest one to me. Like, Jeremiah Smith having 4 targets in the game is unacceptable. He had 4 against Nebraska. Mike, I'm not playing. I'm serious. It's unacceptable.
Bro.
If he does 8 targets is the minimum. 8. Unless he scores on the first 7, 8 is the minimum.
Got to get off the field, man. The defense got to get the offenses off the field on third downs, man. That's definitely what has to happen. Because, I mean, to be honest, Nebraska, they won time of possession almost by, 10, 11 minutes. So, I mean, those type of things are going to happen. Like, guys aren't going to be able to get their targets. They're not going to be able to get fed the ball, not going to be able to do what they need to do. Also, Ohio State, 1 out of 10 on third downs. That's not going to cut it either. That's going to kill your targets too. So, again, I think that was one of the worst games that we've seen out of Chip Kelly. He has to do better. And like I said, to me, there's no excuse with the offensive line when you can get the guy help. Honestly, G. Scott has been amazing. I think he's been actually like getting better and better and better each week. His blocking has been getting better as well. So why not go out there, use him? And like you were saying, how teams, do us or whatever with the zone read. Had G out there just blocking and blocking and blocking the whole time, and boom. Because to be honest, there was that intercept. I think it was the interception that Will Howard threw in the Nebraska game, but G. Scott was wide open.
Yep. No, it was on that play.
Yeah, G. Scott was wide open, and I've been seeing G. Scott get open. Like, there was even in the game before, the Oregon game, I felt like there were more opportunities to get him the ball or whatever, but we just not hitting him. I think G. Scott has been very underrated in what he has been doing this season. So
what I'm hearing, Mike, from you is less targets for Jeremiah Smith, more for G. Scott.
No, I'm not saying that, but I think that on I mean, look at what we're doing on like third downs and stuff like that, bruh. Like Will Howard is, I just feel like the plays that they have created for G Scott have been easy. Like it would be an easy throw for him. Whereas like those third downs that we weren't converting and stuff, like it was not easy throws for Will. Yeah, it would have been an easy throw for the CJ Strouds of the world, the Fields and all of them, but we still got to remember Will Howard. And another thing this takes me back to fans are saying, in the beginning of the season, you don't need Will Howard to do this and do that or whatever.
Not me.
But I mean, I know you weren't. I know you weren't one of them, but I think that in this game, we're going to need Will Howard to be a little bit more than what we were expecting him to be, especially with this offensive line. So,
and honestly, Mike, he has been. He has been more than what like if somebody brought him in here and said we just need him to manage the game, I would say that he's done more than that so far this year. He's done a great job with like moving around the pocket, making plays happen. He in the Oregon game, he made a big time play happen where he escaped pressure, got a touchdown to JJ. So we just need him to keep doing what he's doing, man. Maybe don't turn the ball over. Maybe have your first non-turnover game, but that would be sweet.
We got a super chat in here, big boy. Shout out, appreciate you for the 5, man. Will Howard has to go through his progressions. I feel like he still gets locked on one target and stares them down. Honestly, I understand what you're saying. He has to go through his progressions consistently. There are some times where I'm watching Will Howard go through his actual progressions, and then there's some times where he does just stare down somebody. So I want to know, is that coaching? Is that just Will Howard? Terry, what do you think? Because to me, I just think that Will Howard is what Will Howard is. He looks a little bit better because he's at Ohio State. Mm-hmm. But I feel like Will Howard is who he is.
Yeah, and I put out a thing like before the season even started, kind of like the strengths and weaknesses of the Ohio State quarterbacks. And one of my weaknesses for Will Howard was reading coverages. And he still struggles with that, honestly. Like the Nebraska game, he was really kind of struggling to read their coverages. They were doing a lot of different things. And that's why he ended up throwing a pick right to them. That's why he's good for one a game, because he struggles to read coverages sometimes. And that's why I think for him, he probably feels the most comfortable when he can just lock onto somebody and get the ball to them. But I mean, in a game like this, you have to make the reads, right? Like your first read's not going to be there most of the time. I mean, your second read might not even be there. You still need to make something happen with the play. So I do think that he'll do that. He's just not phenomenal at it, and that's not his strong suit. So, I mean, if you're expecting him to sit back there and like pick a defense apart like how CJ Stroud could, that's not going to happen. It's just not.
He ain't about to look off no DBs and look off no safeties. You know what I'm saying? Look them off and then come back somewhere else. He ain't about to do that, man. I mean, that would be something that you would expect from an experienced guy that, we heard was his elite trait was being experienced. But, yeah. Anyways, man, Terry, we got some games. I think that this is a very underrated week. And there's some games that I think that people are sleeping on. I think I'm just going to go ahead and name out the 4 games that we got right here in the note, which is Duke at number 5, Miami. Miami has been struggling with teams and coming out to obviously nobody struggles with Florida State. We'll just say that Miami handled that, but everybody has, right? But I think that Duke, I think also, isn't Duke coming off of a loss as well?
No,
I believe they're coming off of a loss against, I think, Pitt, if I'm not mistaken.
Pitt just played Syracuse, didn't they?
Oh, no. Yeah, Pitt's played Syracuse. Yeah, that's right.
Made Kyle throw 100 interceptions.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. But
okay, so Duke just lost their last game to SMU by 1 point, though.
Yeah.
And, I mean, SMU is currently ranked, so, I mean.
And that's another game. SMU and Pitt will be at SMU that's another game. That 7 p.m. kickoff on the ACC network. And then number 19, Ole Miss at Arkansas.
That's your team, man.
For
That's your
I
team.
mean, my people, as you can see, what's this over here? Yeah, this, Arkansas. My wife, she from there. So, got to talk about them a little bit. But I do think that the way Arkansas has been playing, right? They played Texas A&M close. You've seen what Texas A&M has been able to do lately. Not trying to really use trans properties, but you've seen Ole Miss has been struggling. Didn't Arkansas get the best of Tennessee as well? Tennessee sitting in the top 10. I don't understand that when you lost to an unranked team, but it's the SEC. That's what they do. But Arkansas, I mean, to be honest, even though it was Mississippi State, they offense looked like they started to hit their stride. And as I kept talking about their quarterback and him and the more reps that he gets, how much better he can be. And you're talking about this Arkansas team and their defense behind their defensive coordinator, who just seems to keep coming up with game plans. Ole Miss has been struggling on offense. What do you think? Trap game? Definitely a trap game for sure.
Let me look at who they play after this. I don't know about a trap game. Oh, I mean, they play Georgia next. So this is definitely a trap game. 100% a trap game.
Trap game.
And Ole Miss, this past weekend, they struggled for a little bit with Oklahoma, who's a really bad team.
And Arkansas better than Oklahoma.
I mean, honestly, it's at Arkansas too, Mike. I could see Arkansas winning the game. I hope they don't, to be honest with you. I know that's your school, but I like Ole Miss. I like Jackson Dart. I like that they are like our farm program, so I need them to keep being good so we could just keep taking a couple of their players every year. But I don't know, man. I don't want to pick that game because I don't know who's going to win that. But I mean, I could definitely see Arkansas pulling the upset there, and that would kind of effectively would eliminate Ole Miss from the college football playoff contention. Because I believe they have 2 losses so far.
Yep.
And they could still get in.
Okay. Ole Miss is 2-2 in the SEC.
Whew.
Arkansas is 3-2 in the SEC.
Dang. So, yeah, I mean, they're about to be behind them in the SEC if they lose to them. That's crazy. What's Arkansas's overall record? I know we talk about them like every week.
5-3. They just like one tier below.
Yeah,
they're one tier below Ole Miss, like 6-2, 5-3. Like if Arkansas wins, they gonna have the same record.
Yeah, that's gonna be a fun game right there, man. I actually can't wait for that one. That one's at noon.
I think that what might help Ole Miss out is the fact that it's a noon game. Well, really going to be 11 a.m. for Arkansas fans. I think that will help them out. And I don't know if the fan base of Arkansas is actually taking it that serious and going to show up and show out for this game like I think they should.
I bet they do.
Man, if they do, like they did for that Tennessee game, bruh, I mean, they had Tennessee in a chokehold. The offense couldn't do anything. And I mean, like I said, we've seen the struggles from them. So I think that's another game. And then Wisconsin at Iowa, 6:30 game. To me, that's a rivalry game right there. Two teams known for old school football, for defense in the trenches. I'm really excited for this game. It's going to be a night game on NBC. I know NBC has been complaining about some numbers, but I think this should still be a good game. Iowa, I think, didn't they hit their most point total that they've had of the season last week?
Yeah, I think. Well, let me see. Let me look it up. I didn't get to catch their game last week.
Bruh,
I do know,
I had him like in the corner on one of the screens, bro, and all I see is like, what is the score in the what?
Yeah, they have 40, which they've had 40 a cup, dude. Iowa's offense is not terrible this year, dude. They got games of 38, 40. Never mind. I'm looking at the other team score. But they got 38, 40, and 40. They're still pretty bad. I think.
Yeah, nah, man, nah.
Hey,
Not
but
Iowa.
this game actually has like small implications on Ohio State too, because Wisconsin only has one loss in the Big Ten so far, if I'm not mistaken.
2.
Oh, they got 2. Okay, never mind then.
Both Iowa and Wisconsin are 3, and they got the same exact record. They both 5-3 overall, 3-2.
I see now.
Yeah.
So never mind. I was gonna say it has implications for like the Big Ten championship, but it really doesn't, dude. I don't think any 2 loss in the Big Ten team is gonna get in there. So it's gonna be a team with 1 loss.
Yeah, and then Iowa, we all know, Buckeye fans know Iowa is a tough place to play at night. Mm-hmm. So good luck to the Badgers. Badgers coming off of a loss as well. You know, and then, to be honest, they gave Penn State a really, really good game. So I'm expecting a really good game against Iowa, man. I think that they're going.
Wisconsin's playing good football now, dude.
Yeah,
I'm telling you, like if their wide receivers didn't drop passes,
I was just about to say that. Yeah,
if their wide receivers didn't drop passes, they probably would have beat Penn State. Now, obviously, that's a big if. You know what I mean? Like any game that you you can watch it and be like, well, if this didn't happen, this team would have won. But the fact that Wisconsin is playing as well as they are right now is a good sign, because I think Luke Fickell's finally starting to cook over there. Obviously, they had some issues early because they lost their quarterback and they had to adjust to this other quarterback and all that good stuff. But I mean, that would be a fun one to watch, dude. I mean, it's a late game, 6:30 kickoff on. That'd be a fun one to watch.
All right, and then we gotta talk about this Miami Duke game. Does Duke finally catch Miami? Does Miami finally take their first L, man? Duke is 6-2, 2-2 in conference. Obviously, Miami is sitting there 8-0, undefeated, and 4-0 in conference.
This is the one right here. Honestly, the one, like if I had to pick a game for my big upset of the weekend, I usually like to, like, at least in my head, sometimes on the show, I like to pick one game that's like, this is going to be the big upset. Now, this is at Miami, and I don't know if you've noticed, but Miami, with the hype that they're getting, they're actually starting to get some crowds out of their games now, which, I mean, that's cool. Like, as much as we want to make fun of Miami, bro, that's cool. Their crowds were literally dead like 2 years ago, a year ago, even the beginning of this year. And now they're getting crowds because they're good. And Miami being good is probably good for college football, but I hate Miami. But anyway, it would be great though, because it also, this team feels like every game that they played this year, they've been right on the verge of losing. And Cam Ward somehow pulls it out of his you know what and makes it happen at the end of the game. And every time it looks like a miracle, dude. Like they throw the ball, there's nobody within 20 yards of the wide receiver. He runs 20 yards, he jukes 3 people, and then he's scoring a touchdown. It's like, man, what? Why wouldn't they doing that all game? But it would be sweet to see Miami go out, or to see Duke go out there and take them out, man, because Duke is one of them teams that can put together a game on you.
Now, I say this though, this ain't gonna be a night game, rowdy game for Miami though.
That's
true. I don't know. Is the crowd gonna be like that at noon?
Probably, probably not. It's not like that.
Yeah.
Really anywhere.
So, I mean, Duke might come out there. Duke coming off that close loss to SMU, they might come out there and do something, but I don't know. I think that, it could be an upset alert. Who does Miami have coming up? Could they be peeking around the corner?
There's no way, dude. The rest of their schedule is all just a bunch of Dukes.
Georgia Tech. Yeah.
Georgia Tech might put hands on them.
Georgia Tech is physical in them trenches, though. They might shock them. I don't know. But, yeah.
I wanted Syracuse to beat them until I saw that Pitt versus Syracuse game, and then I knew it was something was up. It wasn't happening.
Bro.
Oh, my bad.
It's like Team Up North fans, boy. They shaking it for Oregon in the chat. They shaking it for every team but their own team. Oh yeah, this is crazy.
Hey, this chat been crazy today, man. It's like it's a whole op chat.
Dang, man. Well, while y'all in there shaking it for the Penn State Lions and Oregon Ducks, man, make sure you hit that like button,
That's
because
right.
y'all boys
Yeah.
going crazy, man. I ain't know that many people came out just for hating Ohio State, boy. I love it. We love it, man. So make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Terry, tell the people where they can find you.
All right. Again, y'all, sorry for being late, man. Had some stuff come up with my kids, but you can find me at CFB Stop on Twitter. And then on the Fans Edge every Wednesday, 7:30. You guys know that because you're here. Usually you can catch me one day a week on the Buckeye Roast with Ron and them. Also, shout out to another platform, the Best Damn Pod in the Land. My guy Dan and Chad. I was just on their show with Juck the other day, so you guys can definitely go check that out. It was a pretty good show. The conversation was flowing, but that's it, man. Go ahead, Mike.
Yeah, man. If you want to follow me, you can follow me on the X app at 216_Wildboy, man. Make sure you check us out. And then after every Ohio State game, man, you know where you can find me on the Voice of College Football Ohio State platform. I will be there with our guy, JR Rankins, man, talking with him about this Ohio State Penn State game. So whether we win or lose, we will be standing in the paint right there on the Voice of College Football. Make sure you go hit the like, hit the subscribe so that you get the notification bell when we go live right after the game, man. So make sure you're tuning in. What's up?
Real quick. Do you want to give score predictions for this game?
Oh, for the Ohio State.
I mean, we do this one. We do this once a week, bro. We do. Are we go? Yeah, I was say we do this once a week. Are we gonna give you score predictions or what?
Yeah, I guess we can. Go ahead since you're ready.
I mean, mine's already on the record on another show. I don't even know which one it was on, but
go ahead.
I said 31-17. Now, before you start looking crazy, all right. This is one of them games where I could see one play happening that changes that, and it ends up being like 24-28. But I think Ryan Day has to put it together, and he's got to do it right now. 31-17 Ohio State. Book it.
Man, you know what is crazy? I was watching on Minister Sports today, and they was talking about all of these guys who have, these Heisman votes or like Heisman odds and stuff. And then, it was like, oh, obviously because our guys don't have the yardage and all of this stuff. And come to find out that ain't even true, bruh. We got the yardage and all of that. I don't know what's going on.
It's just the optics, man. We got bad optics right now. I hate it, Mike.
It is crazy.
Everybody is so upset and frustrated with this Ohio State team right now, and so am I. But the optics are crazy, bro. Listen, I know we was trying to get out of here, but I got to get this off my chest while we're here. I see Indiana fans all over the timeline talking crazy about how they're going to beat Ohio State. And I know that they're good this year, Mike. I know that they're undefeated. I get it. They're having a phenomenal year. That, they beat Nebraska worse than we did. It's cool, but Indiana fans talking like that to Ohio State is crazy. Crazy.
I say this, all right. I said, dang, people starting to get a Oregon team up north.
Hey, 54-9 is crazy.
Hey, that is wild, bro. Hey, that is crazy, bro. If they put the backups in on the team up north, man, that's gonna be crazy, dog. I ain't gonna lie, man. But I'm gonna say 24-21.
I like it.
24
Buckeyes, right?
Man.
Buckeyes? Mike? Oh, you predicting?
Go Bucks! Go Bucks!
Oh no!
Nah, 24-21 Buckeyes, man. It's gonna always be OH till it's backwards, as my guy Seaball would say, man. So
always us.
Hey, definitely go on with that, man. Hey, but Y'all make sure you hit that like button. Go ahead, leave your score prediction in the comments. Let us know what you think on this game, man. I wish we go ahead and blow a team out, a top team. You know, would like for it to be the JTT breakout game. With James Franklin, hey, he gave JTT some bulletin board material too.
I've seen that. Not saying his name right,
but I don't know how he gonna do. Hey, who was he pointing at and talking to, or whatever? When
I want to know, dude. I want to know because JTT has some juice.
Why don't RB ask these questions, bro?
There's
so many questions that they could ask and they just don't.
What's crazy is that he went unblocked and got a sack, and then he pointed to the sideline and was like, "I told you." So I don't know because he didn't even get blocked on that play. He didn't beat nobody, but I don't know.
I want to know what he told him. I want to know. I want to know who and what it was.
I agree. All right, get us out of here, Mike.
All right, y'all. With that, man, we are out of here, bruh.